can we accept differences in others? No two people are alike. Assimilation into new cultures is not always as easy as some perceive it to be. By communicating with and accepting people who have gone through several different experiences as us, we can grow. Many people face some kind of exclusion or discrimination in their life, whether it be minor or extreme. These events and people featured in the next few minutes, both real and fictional, share extraordinary stories of acceptance and understanding. Banksy is a street artist who creates art based upon political problems and social commentary. His pieces of art display modern society's issues as well as its successes. Amongst Banksy's many masterpieces, he created two which represent people's acceptance and/or disapproval towards others who are different than themselves. The first of which depicts two gay men embracing each other in a passionate kiss, seemingly in public due to their police uniform attire shown. This shows society's acceptance of them, despite their differences from the majority of others. The next picture reveals a group of birds, representing humans rallying against another because of their differences in appearance and country of origin. This portrays certain individuals or groups' disapproval of others who are different in comparison. Banksy's art shows his audience a contrast in tolerance and opinion towards others who may not share the same qualities as them. The Fault in Our Stars tells the story of Hazel. Hazel suffers with thyroid cancer and believes nothing can make her feel like life is worth living. Her mom pushes Hazel to join a cancer support group so she can meet teenagers that are able to relate to her. This is where she meets Augustus Waters. She already knew Augustus was different from the first sight. Even though osteosarcoma caused him to lose a leg, he still looked completely normal. They felt an instant connection, and throughout the book, Augustus's love became more and more apparent. Augustus assures Hazel, "It would be a privilege to have my heart broken by you." He was not bothered by Hazel's cancer, oxygen tank, or how she describes herself as a bomb that may go off at any given time. He accepted her for who she was and the complications she came with.
Hazel Grace, I hope you realize you trying to keep your distance from me in no way lessens my affection for you. All your efforts to keep me from you are gonna fail.
Look, I like you. And I like hanging out with you and everything, but I can't let this go on any further.
Why not?
Because I don't want to hurt you.
I wouldn't mind.
No, you don't understand.
I do understand.
No, you don't
I know what
understand.
you're trying to say. And Hazel, I'm saying I wouldn't mind. It'd be a privilege to have my heart broken by you.
Gus,
Broken
I'm a
by you.
grenade. One day I'm gonna explode, and I'm gonna obliterate everything in my wake, and I don't know, I feel like it's my responsibility to minimize the casualties.
Ever since the Paris attack on November 13, 2015, the discrimination towards Muslims have increased greatly. However, many look beyond just the appearances and give hope for humanity.
I'm not a Muslim, but I respect the fact that they pray 5 times a day to remember their Creator.
I'm not a Muslim, but I respect the fact that Prophet Muhammad came and stopped the burials of thousands of female babies.
Yeah, I'm not Muslim, and I don't like the way media portrays the Islamic religion, because most of my friends are Muslims and they're kind people.
I'm not a Muslim, but I know that all Muslims aren't terrorists.
I'm not a Muslim, but some of my closest friends are Muslim, and they don't fit the stereotypes from the media.
I'm not a Muslim, but I like the culture.
I am not a Muslim, but I disagree with the Western media's portrayal of Islam.
I'm not a Muslim, but I know that Islam means peace.
I'm not a Muslim, but I respect the commitment to family and the community.
I am not a Muslim, but every Muslim I know is really nice.
I'm not a Muslim, but I know that Islam means peace.
I'm not a Muslim, but I know that giving to charity is a main article in their faith.
I'm not a Muslim, but we believe in one God, and the things that we do are most similar to them. So
I'm not a Muslim, but I like the fact that Muslims pray 5 times a day.
I'm not a Muslim, but I respect the humility that my Muslim friends have.
I'm not a Muslim, but I like the idea of how peaceful Ramadan is.
I am Muslim, but I'm not angry.
I'm Muslim, but I'm not forced to wear a headscarf.
I'm Muslim, but I don't wear the hijab.
I'm Muslim, but I'm not dangerous unless we're on the dance floor.
I'm Muslim, but I don't care if you're Shia or Sunni or Sufi. Embrace them all.
I'm Muslim, but I'm not a terrorist.
But I'm not a terrorist.
But I'm not a terrorist.
But I'm not stopped at airports because my name is Tom and I'm white.
I'm Muslim, but I'm not Arab.
I am Muslim, but I love Jews.
I'm Muslim, but I'm not an immigrant.
I'm Muslim, but I'm not homophobic.
But I'm not prejudiced towards others.
But I don't hate America.
I'm Muslim, but I'm not easily offended.
I'm Muslim, but I don't look like one.
I am Muslim, but I had bacon one time on accident. It was good.
I'm Muslim, but I don't scream Allahu Akbar randomly out loud.
I am Muslim, but I wasn't the one who told kids that there was no Santa.
I'm Muslim, but you can be whatever you want to be.
I'm Muslim and I'm a feminist.
I'm Muslim and I believe in equality.
I'm Muslim and I'm descended from pilgrims on the Mayflower.
I'm Muslim and I love listening to rap music.
I am Muslim and I love Thanksgiving.
And I was born and raised in Los Angeles.
And I'm an actress. I'm Muslim and I love dancing.
I'm Muslim and my religion teaches me to love everyone.
A young man, Ashley Powys, defends a lady wearing a hijab, Yara, after she's being harassed by another man calling her a raghead, terrorist, and scum, even accusing her that her people was the cause of the Paris attacks. Powys states that it was human instinct to step in and not an act of bravery, but in retrospect there were plenty of others on that train, yet he was the only person who stood by Yara's side. He understood and accepted that even though she may look and believe differently than him, nobody deserves that abuse. She belongs to this country as much as any other person, which is why discrimination is such a problem. This article encourages us to start speaking and defending each other, looking beyond the stereotypes and accepting everybody for their own differences.
So when the man started this attack on her, luckily just verbal, I don't know how it would have gone had I not have interviewed, but luckily just verbal, sadly I wasn't shocked. I wasn't like, oh, I've never seen that happen before, because I've heard of it happening and I know it happens, but I didn't think I can't imagine I thought a lot about it. It was just, I can't see that happen. I can't allow that to happen. And the shock of nobody else, obviously having that realisation of what was a busy, not rush hour, but, you know, it's Oxford Circus, it's busy all the time. The fact that nobody else had that, what I'd say is a human instinct, was really upsetting. I think I'd like to find her just because with what I've posted out there and what people have seen that I've put, I'm getting a lot of the praise and a lot of, you know, calling me heroic and calling me this wonderful, marvellous person. And I'm a nice person, but I'm not any of those things. I think for her to, especially in the times we're in now, where there is a lot of adversity against Islamic people, and there is a lot, especially Islamic women, just because there is that identifiable image. And I think for her to still every day go out and be proud of her faith and showcase her faith, she's actually the one who deserves recognition for it, not me for stopping someone, you know, targeting her. For her to go out, even though what's happened, especially in recent media coverage, for her to do that, I think she needs recognition, and she needs to actually be able to have people message her directly to say, you know, her story has, because I've had so many messages saying that her story has touched them and helped, and I want her to be able to hear that, I guess. Maybe she's seen them, I don't know, and I just like to see her and just, you know, probably just give her another hug. So I have had one particular message that really brightened up my day where, I can't remember her name, but she messaged me saying that she'd read what happened, and since everything's happened with IS and with all the refugee crisis and everything in the Middle East for the past, she said, 6 months to a year, she's been afraid, and she hasn't gone out proudly in her hijab, you know, showing her faith, being proud, you know, that she finds that peace with her religion. She hasn't been able to do that out of fear. And she sent me a message saying that this morning, for the first time, she rocked her hijab. She went out, she put it on, and she was proud of it because she knew that there are people who are going to stand up for her if that happens. And I'm just a little country boy from Wales, and the fact that even just I've had that impact on one person, I can't stop smiling. I think it's brilliant, and I think if more people are people, then more people like her can do that, and we can just be a normal society, because especially when there's so much hatred between each other being forced on by what's happening, we need to open our eyes and be like, no, we need to actually stick together to not necessarily to fight what's going on, but to have that solidarity between us makes us feel safer. And when times like now are uncertain, safety is one of the most satisfying feelings, I think, as a country even we can have right now. And so if we do that, I think it'll just make everything better. Even if just a little bit, it'll make it better.
Under Big Brother's rule, everybody is the same, inferior. In 1984, Julia and Winston's relationship exists through their shared hatred of Big Brother and the party's totalitarian grip of Oceania. Despite their relationship, Julia and Winston's personalities are nothing alike. Unlike Winston, who is old, lazy, and extremely skeptical, Julia was young, carefree, and took many risks. Winston lived his life under the constant control of Big Brother, taking calculated actions and living in fear of vaporization. Julia showed Winston that there was more to the world than Big Brother and the party. She showed him hope from a new perspective. Despite their differences, they acquainted themselves to each other and committed their lives to oppose Big Brother's rule in order to survive the cruel world of 1984. Quentin Tarantino's theatrical masterpiece, Django Unchained, exhibits the harsh racism inflicted upon people of African descent in 1800s America. Django is a free slave, granted this title by King Schultz, a German bounty hunter, who accepted him as a person rather than an inferior being. Schultz brought him out of the deadly trade slave to accompany him on his many missions and adventures. Throughout the movie, Django searches plantation after plantation for his wife, whom he dearly loves. A black man with the privileges of a white man was unheard of in those times. Django is unable to freely roam without an excessive amount of vulgar threats and insults thrown his way. The movie portrays how Django, as a black man, shares the same emotions as the white man. Alongside Schultz, Django proves to the viewers that through his undying courage and perseverance that although he may appear different, he is still human. The Jade Peony takes a glimpse at the life of Chinese Canadians in 1930s and 40s Vancouver. Sek Lung and his family faced many hardships, living as a minority in a culture dominated by people of Caucasian descent. His father spoke of how much of an importance it was that the Chinese people must help other Chinese in need. He wrote, "We must help each other because no one else will." The discrimination and segregation of Chinese was undeniable. In Sek Lung's section of the novel, he described his intimate relationship with his grandmother before her tragic passing. Grandmama never accepted the Canadian culture, but instead clung tightly to the old Chinese culture she brought with her to her new foreign home. In modern times, things have taken a turn for the better for Chinese living in Canada. Throughout recent years, Chinese immigration to Canada and the mixing of cultures have vastly increased. This allowed many immigrants to adapt quicker and easier to the new, intimidating environments of the Western world.
So the challenges that new immigrants, and certainly for our international students, have is that they don't have to learn a new culture in order to live, I think, quite successfully within Canadian society. Their opportunity, and I think it's a great opportunity for them, though, is that because they are well grounded in Asian culture, if they can also learn Canadian or North American culture, they can become a real bridge between cultures and can make a significant contribution to the future of the relationship of this country, of Canada, with the Pacific Rim and with Asian countries. And I think they can do very well for themselves, and I think they can do very well for this country.
With an astonishingly high Chinese population, the exclusion of Chinese Canadians in Canada has diminished greatly, if not completely. Although many people faced a time where they felt excluded or discriminated upon, people find ways to overcome it. The acceptance of differences in others has led to many miracles. Modern multicultural communities have been a result of people's acceptance of each other, which is becoming more and more apparent as time goes on.